Welcome back to our channel. Today we bring you another edition of our captivating story series where we explore deep emotions. How do you know if you're involved with a psychopath? Introducing The Perfect Illusion. They say love is blind, and for James Lancaster, that couldn't have been more true. When he met Evelyn Monroe, she was everything a man like him could ever dream of. Stunning, poised, and utterly captivating. It was as if she had stepped right out of a fairy tale and into his world. But as with all fairy tales, there was darkness lurking beneath the surface. James wasn't from wealth or privilege. He was a hard-working man, running a small but successful auto repair shop in town. He had a comfortable life, a close-knit group of friends, and, before Evelyn, he had a fiancée named Sarah. Evelyn knew how to make herself noticed. She showed up at the cafe, where James grabbed his morning coffee, ordering the same drink he did and striking up conversations about classic rock, the very music he had grown up loving. She accidentally bumped into him at the grocery store, laughing about how they seemed to have the same taste in food. Then, one evening, she arrived at a bar, where James and his friends were hanging out. She claimed she was just passing by, but she stayed buying him a drink, laughing at his jokes, making him feel like she was the missing piece in his life. Sarah noticed the change first. "She's everywhere, James," Sarah said one night, frustration clear in her voice. "It's not a coincidence." James sighed. "Come on, Sarah. She's just friendly." Sarah crossed her arms. "She looks at you like she already has you, and you're letting her." Evelyn knew what she was doing. A few well-placed rumors. A calculated moment where Sarah saw her and James just talking in an intimate setting. And soon, the engagement was off. James was heartbroken, until Evelyn was there, warm and understanding. She cooked for him, remembering his favorite meals. She played him old Rolling Stones records, humming along as if the songs were embedded in her soul. She molded herself into the perfect woman for him, and before long, he was convinced she had been the right one all along. They married in a quiet ceremony, attended by his skeptical family and friends. His sister, Francesca, was the first to voice her doubts. "Where did James even meet her?" she whispered to Oliver during the reception. "She just appeared out of nowhere. And suddenly, she's the love of his life. It's too perfect." His best friend Oliver noticed the inconsistencies next. Evelyn was careful, but slip-ups happened to even the most skilled liars. One evening over dinner, she mentioned growing up in London. A week later, she told Oliver she had spent her childhood in Switzerland. He caught it immediately. "You said London before," Oliver said, watching her reaction closely. Evelyn, ever the performer, laughed it off. "Oh, silly me. I spent time in both places. My father travelled a lot." Oliver didn't press, but the seed of doubt had been planted. Margaret Lancaster, James' mother, had her own concerns. Over a quiet dinner, she leaned in, voice soft but firm. "James, my dear, love is blind, but do be careful. I had my people look into her family. There's barely a trace of them. No records, no history. It's unusual." James bristled at the suggestion. "Mother, not everything needs a paper trail. Maybe they value privacy." Margaret sighed, folding her napkin with deliberate precision. "Just keep your eyes open." As time passed, the cracks in Evelyn's story widened. At a party one night, someone joked about hiring private investigators, and Evelyn visibly flinched. Oliver caught it. He had been suspicious before, but now he was sure. After the party, he approached Francesca. "You saw that, right?" he asked, hands stuffed in his pockets. Francesca nodded. She nearly dropped her wine glass. "What are you thinking?" "I'm thinking I'm going to make a few calls," Oliver said darkly. That was the final push he needed. He hired an investigator. The results were worse than he had imagined. When James arrived home one evening, he found Oliver, Francesca, and his mother waiting in his living room. A thick file sat on the coffee table. "James," Oliver said grimly, "sit down. We need to talk." James flipped open the file. His face darkened with every page. "Evelyn Monroe doesn't exist," Oliver continued. "Her real name is Claire Dawson. She's been conning her way through different cities, changing names, appearances. Fraud, identity theft, possibly worse." James could barely breathe. "That's impossible. There must be some mistake." Francesca shook her head. "It's all there, James. Fake birth certificates, old arrest records. She's been running from something, or someone, for a long time." The final betrayal came when James received a call from his bank. Evelyn had attempted to empty all of his accounts, but the bank flagged the transaction as suspicious and required his confirmation. When James refused, Evelyn's scheme fell apart. That was when he knew. She never loved him. She had only been playing the long game. That night, he found Evelyn in their bedroom, sitting on the edge of the bed, calm as ever. She looked up at him, an unreadable expression on her face. "Who the hell are you?" James demanded. Evelyn tilted her head, a smirk playing on her lips. "I'm the woman you fell in love with, James. I gave you the life you wanted. Does it really matter how I got here?" James' hands curled into fists. "You lied to me, to everyone. You think you can just smile and make this all go away. If you love me, you'll protect me," she said simply. "Or we could burn it all down together." James recoiled. In that moment, he saw her for who she truly was. But Evelyn wasn't the type to sit and wait for consequences. She fled. James' family and friends alerted authorities. And soon, a chase was on. It ended in a rundown motel, far from town. James and Oliver arrived before the police, finding Evelyn packing her things, eyes wild with desperation. "You can't run forever," James said, blocking the door. Evelyn's lips curled into a bitter smile. "I always do." She lunged for the window, but Oliver grabbed her wrist. The police burst in seconds later, handcuffing her as she let out a hollow laugh. As she was led away, she turned to James, voice low and cold. "You'll never really be free of me." James sat in his living room that night, staring at the empty space where Evelyn's presence had once been. His mother placed a hand on his shoulder. "She may be gone, but at least now, you see the truth." Francesca spoke softly. "She'll resurface. People like her always do." Oliver poured 2 glasses of whiskey, handing one to James. "Next time, let's stick to women with backgrounds we can actually verify." They shared a sad, knowing chuckle, but the weight of the night lingered. Because deep down, they all knew Evelyn, or Claire, or whoever she truly was, would never stop weaving her next perfect illusion.